was like, well, while I have it open, I should do a Reddit unpopular opinions. But first, I have to thank Wendy Wendy B ASMR for this makeup bag. I haven't put anything in it yet, but it has a separate compartment for brushes, and then the makeup goes on top, so like it's not all, because my last makeup bag was disgusting. She probably saw that. It was disgusting, and she got this for me for my channel growth, and I'm so appreciative. And you can just, Wendy is a sweetheart. Wendy B ASMR. You can just tell she's a good person and a sweetheart, and thank you so much, Wendy. All right. Now, before we get into the unpopular opinions, you know the drill. You know the deal. We gotta do some channel maintenance, some channel hygiene. Channels are Tamagotchis. So, if you are new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back, OGs. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like. If you like, leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. It can just be a hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool and friendly. Hit the notification bell. As always, I will link my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1 or $2 helps us. It allows me to continue to make content. Also, you are invited to my Patreon. I know not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. You want the smoke? Go to Patreon. All right. The first one. Costco doesn't save any money for the vast majority of their customers. At the checkout stand, you see what people are buying, and sure, they'll save money on buying a huge block of toilet paper or a 5-pound bag of coffee. But Costco makes it up by selling upmarket snacks / frozen foods in obscene quantities that you never see people with in a regular grocery store. They probably have a point. I don't know. I've had Sam's memberships. I've never had a Costco membership. But I do want to put like some shelving in my basement and become a prepper. No, just kidding. No, but stock up on like toilet paper and stuff that I'm sick of buying all the time. And Costco or Sam's is probably the cheapest way to do that. Like toilet paper, I guess 5-pound coffee, but I like specialty coffee, so I wouldn't be able to do that. Comments: if you have a freezer and you buy Costco meat when it's on sale, you can save a fortune from what you would spend at the grocery store. The key is to take it home, portion it off, and freeze it so you have normal sized portions and it doesn't spoil. So you're gonna have to put some work in. Get some freezer bags and spend your meal prep time, your Sunday afternoon or whatever, dividing it up and putting it in freezer bags. Also, there's lots of other things you can get much cheaper by volume at the grocery store, like peanut butter, cereal, coffee, etc. But yes, there are other things that are more expensive than they need to be. Right now, like, I would not buy bulk peanut butter because my toddler likes peanut butter, and so does my teenager. And they just like get it out by the spoonful and they double dip, and I know that's disgusting, but like I would not. We'll stick with the little jars and move them in every week and move them out every week because they're disgusting. If it was just me, I could do something like bulk peanut. I don't even eat peanut butter, but maybe Nutella or something. Peanut butter for sure, and Nutella. Somebody said if you're eating so much Nutella that you buy it in bulk, I pray for your health. But yeah, I'm sure you're saving some money while you're at it. The whole point of the comment is stuff like Nutella have a long shelf life. Buy the double jar once a year and have it for occasional use. Yeah, at one point when Nutella got big, I thought it was like I thought it was as healthy as peanut butter. Apparently it's not. I store peaches or nectarines and just waits for the month where I can eat them off of the tree. Yesterday we got melons and 2 melons and 2 tomatoes from a farm stand, and we got into the melon last night, and it was perfection. It was a cantaloupe. I'm big on cantaloupe. I like honeydew, but I'm not a watermelon lover. I'm not, and people love watermelon. I'm like, this tastes like watermelon. I don't get the hype. That's my unpopular opinion. Cantaloupe over honeydew over watermelon. Is that all the melons? Okay. Unpopular opinion number 2. We should call countries by their actual names. I've talked about this with tons of people, and everyone just tells me that's just how it is. I think we should call countries by what they've named themselves, like what their name is in their own language. I think it would help centralize the world a bit more. Also, why would you give them a name if they already had one? Think of it like this. Let's say my name is Alfred and I moved to Sweden and they start calling me Artur or Alvin, because that's what my name is in their language. Proper nouns are proper nouns and shouldn't be changed. Edit, I'm sorry if I sound ignorant. I'm still in high school. Oh, this is just a random thought I had whilst learning German. Edit 2, I'm sorry for the mistake of saying Hanguk. Oh, because he was giving another example. Okay. Helvetica times New Roman is fancier. What do you do when your language can't properly pronounce the word? Good question. I wouldn't dare try to pronounce. And then they put the word that I'm not even going to attempt. Same with Belgium. And somebody said Belgium isn't real. What? I've been there. Is there a conspiracy theory? Belgium is the rudest word in the universe, which is completely banned in all parts of the galaxy except in one part where they could not possibly know what it means. I'm confused. If anybody knows what they're talking about, let me know. What would India be called then? It has 20-something popular spoken language. Hindi, English, Tamil, Telugu are major ones, but there's a lot of dialect changing it too. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on this at the moment. I would have to think more, because I know when I hear people say the states, and maybe we're used to hearing United States or we're used to hearing America. It doesn't bother me when I hear people, other cultures talking about, oh, the states, because I know what they're referring to. Honestly, no opinion of the states pisses me off, because I have my own, because I live here. So that's that. Somebody put a Dumb and Dumber joke in here. Slappy, Swanson, Samsonite. It was right there on the briefcase. If you know, you know. I don't feel strong one way or the other, but there are probably other countries that are sick of hearing other countries call their country something. I don't know. Let me know if you have an opinion on that. Oh my god. Drinking coffee creamer is so good. I did this once by accident. I was going through like this coffee creamer addiction, like shopping addiction, and I wanted to try them all. But I also got, what is the brand? Maybe it's Chobani. So I got the creamers and I got a Chobani milk too, like a tiny flavored milk or something. I can't remember. And they looked a lot alike, okay? A lot. And I don't remember if I poured it into a cup to drink or if I poured it into cereal, and I had a couple drinks and I was like, damn, that's good. Like, damn. And then like my second or third drink, I was like, damn, that's good. That's too good. And so I got into the fridge and I was like, that was the creamer. That was the creamer nap. But apparently people drink it on purpose. When I was a kid, I liked to drink the little coffee. especially as an addict. Like, that little voice, you gotta watch yourself with this one. So I get it, and I it's a cautionary tale, okay? Watch yourself when you like something a little too much. Somebody said, yikes, isn't that sickeningly sweet, though? And some people are just sugar addicts, and it's easy to form a sugar addiction. And it's hard to break a sugar addiction, and it's really not good for you. I was reading something where they said, this is just, maybe if you look it up, you can find something about if sugar were to hit the market today. Like, we had not seen sugar yet, and all of a sudden we found sugar, and it had to be like examined before it could be put on shelves. America probably wouldn't care, but other countries, they monitor that stuff. They would probably classify sugar as a straight up drug. A straight up drug, because it is addictive, and it's that good, right? So you should watch yourself. You should check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, dress codes aren't that bad. So this person says, I never really understood the hate about dress code. Yeah, it's mostly targeted towards girls, and I won't deny that, but it isn't hard to wear specific clothes, and I'm a girl. At some point, we're going to get jobs and are going to have to dress professionally, so what's the problem? I don't get why it's such a priority to show skin. For example, covering up your belly button isn't hard. You just have to wear a shirt. Also, with pants, it isn't necessary to wear something that's extremely short. I get that it's hot, but there are other options. Plus, it's not like summer lasts the whole year. You can look cute without overly showing skin. I also don't get why there's a battle with what guys are allowed to wear. We don't have the same body parts. I'm not talking about knees or shoulders, please. Unless girls are interested in walking outside or playing sports shirtless, I can't think of clothes they're allowed to wear that make our dress code a problem. Another thing is the fact that there's an argument that we have a dress code because of boys. I don't agree that what we wear should be a problem because of them. Right. But I think showing up to school in appropriate clothing is basic etiquette. Okay, nail on the head, nail on that. I don't believe in, well, the boys might look. I don't care. Not the point. Basic etiquette, that we all put on some clothes and go to school so that we're not forcing other people to see things they might not want to see. And like the whole boys want to see it thing, I don't care. They won't be able to if we're all just putting on a shirt and some shorts at school. You can wear whatever you want to your parties, to the beach, to your clubs, whatever. But school, I think you should put on, and again, she's not talking about shoulders and knees and stuff like that, but full half-ass. Your full half-ass should not be out at school. Basic etiquette. You can dress however you want outside of school. Okay, and there's an argument. As a woman, I'm going to assume you have a smaller frame, hips, and bust. I was an E-cup by my 14th birthday. If I were to post pictures of what I wore, no one on earth would consider it provocative or risque by any measure of those words. Bootcut jeans, t-shirts, and hoodies were my go-to. But I couldn't even wear a scoop neck t-shirt without being dress coded. In gym class, I couldn't afford a sports bra or a regular bra. Straps tend to shift when I was doing physical activity, so they would slide down onto my arms, dress coded. That's weird. I've never heard of, that's gotta be an outlier, I guess, because I've never heard of somebody's bra strap falling down and you get dress coded. So it wasn't until the third or fourth time that it happened that my parents were called and told they needed to cover up because it was distracting to the boys. Okay, that's wrong. Like I said, that's not the point of this. The point is manners. The point is etiquette. The point is getting into the mindset that we are going to cover up, to not force maybe icky things, or not icky, but like I've seen stuff person, and a person that's been curvy most of my adult life. Just a time and a place, right? There's nightclubs and there's school. There's nightclubs and there's work. There's the beach and there's church. In my opinion, dress codes are totally fine. Even a good thing that teach students early what's appropriate and what isn't in different situations. However, the way those dress codes are unfairly enforced, yes, that should be dealt with. As if their bodies are vulgar or and inherently sexual is where there's a huge problem. It really shouldn't be hard to enforce reasonable dress codes in a fair way. Yeah, like, that's all that needs to be done. A reasonable dress code where you have your tuchus covered up to the bottom of your tuchus, and then you don't need to wear fishnet to school, like. And I guess the reason why it's not really enforced on most boys is I just don't see boys pushing. I don't see a lot of boys trying to have their butts hanging out or wearing fishnet or sheer tops or anything. Like, I don't see it. But there's no doubt in my mind that people would be unfair to women. Just, you never know what weirdos you got at the schools and stuff. So I get it, but I also think that it could skew it because there's not as many boys trying out the risque, inappropriate clothing. Not as many. Exactly, dress codes aren't inherently bad or unfair, but how they play out in reality is often unfair to specific types of people. This is too vague. Of course, there's no problem with dress codes if they are normal. The problem is that girls can't show their shoulders in a tank top and boys can. Well, yeah, that has to be across the board, but she did say, like, or she or he said, this isn't about shoulders. Like, let it be equal across the board. Our shoulders, okay, we can all have our shoulders. Not if a girl has her shoulder out, it's not okay. If a boy has his shoulder out, it's okay. That's not cool. Okay, let's do one more. Reading books is not some sophisticated hobby. I say this as someone who does read a few good books, mostly horror, a few classics, but also a lot of research when I'm bored, right? Reading books, no matter what old people will have you believe, is not a sign of sophistication or intelligence. It's literally just a basic human skill we use every day. I say books specifically because they are very broad. Reading and studying something interesting is literally learning, while enjoying a novel is purely entertainment. It is about as sophisticated as watching a movie. Analysis of themes and the actual methods used to convey stories aside, I say this because there's an transformative reading is taught to kids when the pandemic hit. As a freestyle rapper, I've had old heads ask me how many of the big words I used were made up. MFer, pick up a book, 1,000 of them in fact. They were old. They were older than me and believed I made those words up. Rappers being afraid of vocabulary. It's annoying that this comment is both popular and completely wrong. Ironic that while being literate, you don't seem to be putting it to good use. Literacy rates are higher than they've ever been pretty much every decade since. Yes, they were. And now they're... there's a statistical anomaly due to recent foreign-born immigrants in some countries, but I think this is just one of the most off-the-cuff negative comments made just to look smart by hacking the negativity bias of the masses. Yeah, it did have a strange feel to it, didn't it? I don't know. I think that reading shows that you put down your phone for a while. You're obviously you're learning vocabulary, you're learning writing styles, and reading makes you better at what? Well, better. Might be less enjoyable, but better at